Hey everybody, welcome back to the Boathouse Girls. I'm Becky,
And I'm Rachelle.
and we are two cousins who grew up together on the plains of North Dakota. We are Gen Xers, and we are the Boathouse Girls.
And we're going to start each of these episodes with what we're going to call a boathouse moment to kind of highlight what it was like being part of the boathouse or part of our childhood. And then after that, we're going to kind of take turns each episode throwing random Gen X topics at each other, which could get a little dangerous and maybe too honest for some other generations that we won't mention today.
Uh,
But But today we're going to start with our first boathouse memory, kind of in honor of my Uncle Jerry, who many people call Bart. I call him Uncle
that's my
Jer.
dad.
That's
Yeah.
Becky's dad.
Yeah.
He has left us about, I think it's 11 years ago, yesterday.
12
12,
yesterday.
way too many.
Yeah.
12 years
Yeah.
yesterday,
Mhm.
which was a big moment for our family because he was, after our grandfather passed away in the late 70s, he truly was more of the patriarch of our family in that sense.
Mhm.
So we want to talk about some of the, the boathouse memories that are highlighted with Uncle Jer today.
Uncle
Um,
Jer, aka Bart. Yep.
yeah, my very first boathouse memory ever was the building of the boathouse.
Mm.
And my mom and I, we were there. We had the little camper on the lake. We did not have a cabin for a long time, but it was a little camper. And the boys, as we mentioned in the last episode, my dad Larry and her dad Jerry, were building the boathouse, which was a gigantic, or today we would call it ginormous, pole barn.
Bit of a
And my
monstrosity.
mother, in her patience, pulled up a couple of lawn chairs. Because I think what had happened, I believe she was pregnant with my brother. So I was probably hard to manage watching me in the lake. And they were just throwing things off of the top of the boathouse while they were building it. So that's probably safety issues when you've got a 6-year-old, 5 to 6-year-old running around. Right. I would have been 6, I think. And I remember being in the chairs, told and I couldn't go anywhere. And mom and I were basically doing our own commentary on my dad, your dad, and Uncle Glenn being up on top of that boathouse as they would yell at each other, swear at each other, hammer their own thumb. It turned out to be quite entertaining in the moment.
Well, and
But
let's set the scene for a second. I'm sorry I'm
mhm,
interrupting you,
sure.
but let's set the scene for a second. We're talking the 70s here. So you can picture the cutoff jean shorts with some sort of wide belt that they were
Yeah.
wearing, the tube socks that came up to their shins and over their shins, and then probably some work boots, If it was
Yeah.
cool enough, they were wearing their jeans and shirts. But now I imagine since you were being in the lake, it was warm enough. So we're talking the 70s shot of the dads with their shirts off. And I am sure there was an old Milwaukee close by while they were
Or
doing
a
this.
or a Schlitz.
Or a Schlitz. Thank you
Or what
very
was
much.
the one with the beer?
The one with the
Or the
beer
beer.
or
The beer,
the
sorry,
bear?
the bear.
The one with the beer.
It's
All of
Saturday.
the
I've
above.
had this week has felt like the longest year of my life, okay? Um,
The one with the beer.
the
Cheers.
bear. The Hams bear.
Hams, the Hams bear.
It would have
Mm-hmm.
been one of those. Or
Mm.
Milwaukee's Best of Beast.
There would have been a cooler with all sorts of ice floating in it. So,
Mom and
yeah.
I were in charge of the cooler. I was allowed to leave the chair to run up to the ladder as they came down and reach up and give them their drinks.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe, though, they were actually wearing their swim trunks. So the second they were done for the day, they could just dive right into it. So
Lunchtime.
that was one of the very first key memories I have of your dad at the lake. So many other ones would include him taking us fishing.
Mm,
He was always the one who volunteered to take us out on the boat and go fishing. Always, always.
always. And one of the things yesterday, I posted on Facebook yesterday that we had some pictures of him and the fact that we hadn't seen him now for 12 years. And one of my cousins on the other side of the family, the first thing that she said was, he taught me how to fish, and he was
Mhm.
so patient, and he did everything for us. And I was so glad she posted that because she was right. Dad took all of us fishing. Some of my
Mhm.
earliest memories with dad are him taking us fishing. And that was back when it was the whole, oh, we're getting up at the crack of dawn because that's when the fish are biting. And we would. I mean, literally, I have
Mhm.
pictures of us in the kitchen, all in our hats and mittens and stuff because it was cold, but it was fishing opener and we were going to go before
Yep.
sunup. But then, as my children came along and as dad got older, the crack of dawn got a whole lot later in the
Well,
day.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
No,
you're not alone. He taught all of us how to fish and he was so helpful and patient about it. Yeah.
Mhm. He would throw
Hmm.
all I remember it would be like you, me, your brother Joel, cousin Trent, and when the boys got older, it was Paul and Eric. He'd throw us all in the boat. Sometimes my dad would go, sometimes he wouldn't, and he would just man all these kids with their own fishing poles, which is not safe.
Insane. We all
Hooks
had a fishing
flying
pole.
everywhere. Yeah, because we weren't that old. Um, but I guess maybe it helped that the best fishing spot at the lake, to this day, I believe, is still about 50 yards off of our dock. So,
Oh, yes.
the moms could come down on the dock and be like, when are you coming in? We're making dinner. Dinner's ready. They could echo it out across the lake. So we had that advantage. Uh, but yeah, that I just remember the fishing, and he always wanted the bonfire at night. He was always part of building the bonfire with dad at night.
Yeah.
He was also part of the conspiracy where they lied to me because I'm afraid of bats. And
Oh.
he and dad just told me they were night birds my entire childhood.
And you believed
Hey, Reckles, don't. It's just a look at the night bird. He would even point them out. Look at the night birds. Him and Larry. It was a
I
hoax that I didn't figure out till I was an adult.
Gosh. And I wonder often, was it just a Bart thing or was it a Gen X thing where they had nicknames for the kids? I just, my dad, it was so prevalent with him. You were Rackle. It was never Rochelle. It was never anything else. Like once in a great while, if he was being serious, I'd hear him say Rochelle. But for the most part, it was Rackle. It was never just Rackle. It was Rackle.
When he thought I was being a brat, I was Rochelle.
And all of my
Yeah.
friends, if they got a nickname, they knew that he loved them. Even yesterday,
Yeah.
my cousin Andrea said that he called her Drew, which she thinks was short for Andrew. She's not sure, but you know, she takes
I
it
wonder,
affectionately.
I mean, your dad and my mom, when they grew up in a very large family,
Hmm.
um, and grandma did have that trend towards the end where she, well, not
The
even towards the
nickname
end,
trend?
even when we were growing up, not the nickname trend, but I wonder if this is where the nicknames came from because there was to be so many of us running around like on a weekend or a family event. And she would go through all the cousins sometimes before she would get to the right kid. It'd be like
Yes, which
Linnell,
is
Becky, Rochelle,
understandable.
or Shirley. So I
I
wonder
am
if your dad
guilty
just had
of
designated nicknames he could call out faster to keep us all
that might be
straight, maybe.
brilliant. That might be brilliant. I
Possibly.
literally, my son and my younger brother remind me of each other sometimes.
Oh
Like
yeah.
literally, I don't know how many times I have messed up saying Baylor and Eric over and
Mhm.
over again and calling them each other's names. And then once in a
Mhm.
while, a dog gets mixed in there too. So I'm glad I'm not alone. It's a
Yeah,
generational thing. It's in the DNA.
it is.
But
It
I do
is.
remember, I remember grandma once who was very much a product of the Great Depression. I
Mhm.
remember her talking about when the kids were being born, which would be our parents, and how grandpa was always involved in the naming. Like Aunt Connie, the first one, the oldest in the family, she was named Constance, and grandpa said, we'll call her
Yes.
Connie.
Yes.
And then, like my dad came along and he said, "We'll call him Jerry." And it was
Mhm.
just this kind of natural thing. Like he needed to have this nickname. They needed to have this official sounding name, like Constance and
Yeah.
Gerald.
Well,
Yeah.
even
And
my
Elizabeth
mom
was
is
Betty.
Elizabeth, named after I
Uh-huh.
believe her grandmother, Grandma Maud, I think her name was Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Uh, but he said, no, we're going to call her Betty because
Yep.
he wanted, you know what it was? I know why he called her Betty. He decided they were calling her Betty because he didn't like the name Lizzie, and he was not going to let anybody pick that nickname and start calling her Lizzie from Elizabeth later on. So he decided this is what she'll be called when people, if they don't call her Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe that's kind of where you're at, but yeah,
And
possibly.
those names are kind of cycling back again. I know
Yeah,
a Betty now, a young Betty, and she is so proud to be a Betty. And so it's really kind of fun to see those names coming back around
yeah.
again.
The
Yeah.
this young generation keeps looking up. Like I've seen TikToks where they're looking for what are the old names that we think we should come back,
Hmm.
and some of them I'm like, does it really need to come back? Should it? Huh?
Like Horst. Do we need Horst back in the rotation?
We do not. We do
I'm
not
sorry
need
if
that
your
one.
name Horst. It's awesome. It's an awesome
We're
name.
sorry. We're sorry, but
We
we're
forgive.
sorry in more than
Please
one
forgive
way.
us. So,
Super
okay,
sorry.
you talking about my dad taking us fishing is
Hmm.
the thing of legend because literally to this day, your mother likes to bring up this story when we see each other. It
Is
happens
it
probably
the?
once a year.
I
It's
know
when
which story
you,
it is.
yes. So those of you listening, Rochelle's not kidding. When the drop off that where all the fish would bite was right out from their lake place. And so dad wouldn't take us very far. And this is I was really little, really little.
Yeah,
And
you were only like
probably
five,
5.
6 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. And so our brothers were just toddlers. And so dad took Rochelle, myself, and my older brother Joel, who is a year older than Rochelle, took us out to the drop off. And the one thing I remember about your lake place, Rochelle, was that the sunsets were just golden. We're talking on
Yeah, they're
Golden Pond
beautiful. They're
sunsets.
beautiful.
Yeah, you were on the perfect side of the lake for those. And I remember the sun not going down, but it was getting to the golden hour. And dad had us out there again, a 5-year-old approximately, a 7-year-old, and an 8-year-old with fishing poles. And Joel was at the front of the boat. You were off to the side of the boat, and I was off the back of the boat. Or wait, other way around. Joel was off the back of the boat.
We were all on the
Um,
boat.
yes. And well, it makes sense sequentially in my mind. The at one point, we had been out there for how long? Probably like 15 minutes, but to us,
Yeah,
it
but
felt
it
like
was all
hours.
day. We were
It was
there all
all
day.
day. And Joel, says, "Oh, I think I have a fish." And then as he's pulling and reeling and pulling and reeling, dad says, "I think you're stuck on the motor." And so, no, no, I think it's a fish. And then you say, "I think I got a fish." And you're pulling and nothing's happening. And dad says, "I think you're stuck in the weeds." And so he's back dealing with the two of you at the back of the boat. I'm up in the front and I get something on my little tiny hand pole thing and it is pulling. And I said, "Dad, I think I got a fish." He goes, "No, you're just stuck in the weeds like Rackle is." And I remember it digging into my stomach as a little kid thinking, "Ouch." And this thing was on there. And sure as heck, dad leaves, he finally abandons as he sees my pole bobbing. He abandons you two, comes up and helps me reel in this big mouth bass, which for a 5-year-old, that's a whole lot of movement on on a fishing pole. They like to swim and run. The best part. Oh, here's the
Hmm.
kicker that our family will not let me live down to this day.
I will, depending on who goes first, if you go before me, which I doubt will happen, but I will be sharing the story at your funeral.
You should. I'm standing very proudly up on the very front bow of the boat, and Dad goes, "Becky, look! You caught a big bass! Look at this! Huge bass!" And at the moment, I'm just so proud. And this thing is flopping in front of me, and dad's proud because, you two are stuck in the back. And then the little one actually reels one in that he didn't expect. He totally didn't
Hmm.
believe. And this thing is flopping around in front of me, and I'm so excited. I see your mom on the beach picking up our swim toys from the day, our floaties.
Yeah.
And I yell, "Betty, I caught a big bass!" my dad thought that I didn't add the B to that second word.
You didn't.
I
I
swear
was
I did. To
there.
this
You didn't.
day.
You yelled out, Aunt Betty, I caught a big ass at the top of your lungs, and the lake was still, and
It
the
was.
whole lake knew about it because it echoed.
I have
That's
always
why
had a
they
big
will tell
voice.
this story. And Joel and I froze because we thought, oh, she's in trouble. But your dad wanted to laugh
Swear.
so bad.
Yeah, he's back. What did you say? And I said,
And he was holding back the laugh. My mom was dying laughing on the dock because she heard you. And she went, congratulations.
I do remember saying, yay! Okay, but here
Yes.
I still stand by this to this day. How could I have said that word if I didn't know it? I swear I didn't know the word
Oh,
ass.
you
They did
knew it.
not
We grew up
swear it.
around our fathers.
They did, but unless they are around each other. Like my
Yeah, a
cousins
lot.
swear around us. But yeah, you're right.
Grandpa?
Like at home. Oh. Yeah, but I was so young when Grandpa passed away that I think
Yeah.
you remember
No,
more of
you
him than
heard
I
it.
do.
You heard it. It was the 70s and
Oh,
80s.
well, therefore, you guys, I would love
I'm
to
sorry,
hear
there are
other
too
people's.
many of us that have the same recollection of that story. So we are correct.
Swear to this day.
You and the
Oh, I
big
have
ass.
even aunts and uncles who weren't there love to remind me of that story.
Well, because my mom has told it, your dad used to tell it,
Oh
my dad
yeah.
tells it.
Oh yeah, Uncle Don
It's a
tells it.
classic. It's a
It
lake
is a
classic.
classic. Uncle Don, God bless him, every time I see him still to this day reminds me when I was about 3 years old and we would go
Mhm,
visit them. And of course, the dads would sit and drink beer all day long. And
mhm.
the moms would, keep us busy and make the food and all of those types of things. And Uncle Don asking me to go get him a beer out of the fridge.
Oh, yeah. You
And
fell for it every
I
time.
I ran up there. He said my little 3-year-old body just scooted right up to that fridge.
Because he always asked so nice.
Oh yeah. Hey, Beck. Hey, Beck. You want to go get me a beer? And I ran up there. And so he said, I ran right up there, put my hand on the handle, looked at him and said, and took off running. And to this day, he hasn't forgiven me. He
You
reminds me of
ungrateful
it.
child.
You terrible child.
You
How dare
terrible
you not
ungrateful
bring me the
child.
beer? And one time we were at their place and our family was huge for going to visit each other. I don't
Mhm.
know if other Gen X families were as keen on that as the Bartholomews were, but we we would all pile in the car and drive to go see each other. Or if there was a reunion, everybody was there. Everything stopped, everybody got together. And I remember going to our aunt and uncle's house, and they lived on a lake. And so there was always fishing and things to be doing. But there was also plenty of downtime. And the dads loved to have their beer together. And I remember our aunt getting upset because at one point, the brothers had started wrestling, and then the dads got involved. And it was all a good time. And then somebody's beer got knocked over.
Wait,
And
which brothers?
Joel and Trent.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
when we were younger and Trent
Yeah.
was just hyperactivity guy. We'll talk about that another time. But um I remember that beer getting knocked over and Dad said, "Oh, whoop, now we're gonna get in trouble." But he didn't clean it up or anything. He just kept
No.
tussling with the boys.
He kept playing with the boys because somebody would come along and clean up later.
Hours, hours later, our aunt is walking along and steps and goes, "Is this carpet wet? Why is this carpet wet?" And in the
It's her
70s and
carpet.
80s, yeah, the carpet was meant to last you for 40 years. There was no replacing anything anytime soon. And she was livid. And our
Mhm.
cousin Carla, God bless her, she's the oldest out of the bunch. She gets down there, puts her nose down there and smells. She goes, "Mom, it smells like apple to me. I think somebody spilled their apple juice." And of
Covered for
course,
her dad.
oh God, the
Covered for
dads
her
have.
Uncle Bart.
Oh, completely. Yeah, and the dads are like, well, I don't know. They're pleading the fifth, man. Like, oh yeah, yeah. Which of the kids spilled their apple juice? To this day. Oh my gosh. Let's not own up to it. Yeah, we'll save it for another time. We could talk about the escapades at the McKays another time
Oh,
because,
sure.
like the boathouse, we have plenty. I am sorry, I kind of took off on a rant there, but do you have, like you talked about the guys building the boathouse, do you have
Hmm.
other memories of like Dad and Uncle Glenn and Larry working on that thing, that
Well,
monstrosity?
I feel like it went up pretty quick, like in a few weekends, because it's a pole barn. Which, once again, the fact that it has stood the test of time, just the craftsmanship of three 70s men building that thing.
Well, Uncle
Um,
Glenn was a carpenter at that point in his life.
well, and he actually worked with my dad. He worked for my dad for a while.
That's
That's what
right.
my dad did for a while.
That's right.
Um, but yeah, like what I do remember is once it was done, you know, then strategically they put the stuff inside. Like we had where all the life jackets were, and the kids' life jackets were down lower. Like they did things, and we had the giant inner tube, and all the toys were stored there during the summer.
Mhm.
In the winter, it was full of, like I said, more. We only owned one boat, but people would pay Dad to store their boat, like he was the local storage company.
Yeah, before it was a
But
thing.
one of the things that I remember, and it was going to bring me to one of the other things we want to do on these episodes is after we do a full boathouse memory, we kind of want to step into a random topic, but that the other one is not prepared for, just for fun.
This is true. Sorry, I've had a cold. Excuse me as I dab my nose.
You're fine.
Okay. Is this where
So
you're going to hit me with this week's
I'm going to get there
unexpected?
eventually. Yes. So one of the
Okay.
things in the boathouse was the old refrigerator that stored
Oh,
all the beer, but it was also home to all the Shasta pop.
Shasta. I
Shasta
forgot about
pop.
the fridge.
Hmm.
Oh, you're right. And
So
it was
when
like
we
that
were,
big
yeah,
rounded beauty of the 1950s
it
and
was an
60s.
old fridge. I think it may have came. I don't know if my grandparents gave it to Dad or if it came from a different cabin. I don't know. But we had the fridge in there. It lasted forever, and it was the kids' job to go in there, and it was a treat to go get a pop. When they would get annoyed with us,
Mm-hmm.
they would let us go
Mm-hmm.
get a pop. I knew that if my
Ah.
mom said we couldn't have one, I could go ask my Uncle Jerry, and he would tell me to go ahead and get one out of the fridge.
Man, well, okay, he would let us have a pop when we were on vacation. Pop was fair
Yes.
game. Any Shasta we wanted. However, he would not let me get away with anything. But if Rochelle asked him, oh heck yeah, go grab a pop.
It was the same with Grandpa. That's how it
Aw,
worked.
yeah,
So,
I was always getting in
and for
trouble.
those of you that aren't from the North and you're in the South or Midwest, pop is soda, or sometimes we just call it a Coke, even
Coke.
though you might be drinking a Sprite.
Right.
So,
Mellow yellow Coke. Yep.
yeah, Shasta was the brand. And there was also RC Cola. That was fancy, though. We didn't
Yes.
always have it. I'm pretty
Well,
sure it was the
Shasta was also,
discounted pop.
no, oh, sure.
Shasta. Do
And
they still
Shasta
make
was,
it?
yes. And it was so
Oh,
fun because they used to sell it not in like a little six-pack thing. You could just grab, it was all loose.
all the
You could grab
flavors.
whatever flavors you wanted. And oh my
Yeah.
gosh, when we went on family vacations, which was usually to your lake place, Dad would
Hmm.
have that big blue cooler in the middle of whatever vehicle we were driving, and somebody would sit on it. And then every once in a while, it was like a 2 hour drive from our house to your lake place.
Yes.
And every once in a while, Dad'd say, well, I could use a grape pop. Anybody want to help me with that? And we'd all pop up and open up this cooler and go diving. And, whoever found it was a winner. And oh, man. And our dad he was notorious for when we were on vacation, it did not matter what time of day, Bart would let you have a pop. It was
Hmm.
awesome. It was
Betty would.
gr-
Betty was more strategic because I think she was thinking of these kids are going to be jacked up on sugar or whatever,
mm,
and they're never going to go to bed, and I'm
hmm
exhausted, and I'm going to take care of the kids and cleaning around the cabin.
which is fair,
But
very
her brother
fair.
would be like, "Yeah, go grab one. Get in there, knock yourself out, and while you're there, grab me a old Milwaukee."
Yep. Oh, of course, it was a 2 for 1. It was totally
Oh,
perfect. It was
it just
strategic
had
for
a
them.
camera malfunction there.
Are you all
So
right?
yeah,
Or was it a Rochelle malfunction? I'm not sure.
I'm going to take that personally. So, sometimes finding your balance.
I'm so
So,
curious. Sorry, hold on one second. I am just so curious as we talk about this. I love hearing other Gen Xers' stories that sometimes they are so similar to our upbringing, and then
yes,
sometimes they're completely different. My friend who grew up in Tennessee, her Mima and Papa were a whole lot the same as our dads when we were growing up, and then at the same time would take other things to a new level. I mean, I love chatting about it. Sorry, I digress, but you were
I
saying.
digress.
I do.
Using the big words there. So
I
my
have to
my
put
whole
that English
thing topic
education
for
to work.
today in
Oh.
connection with the Shasta got me thinking about, and I've been seeing a lot of like things on social media of Gen Xers where they keep pointing out, do you remember this?
Mm.
And it is items that were part of our daily lives that we maybe have forgotten about, that we either miss or maybe we're like, yeah, it's probably for the best. We don't have that anymore. And it made me think of
Yeah.
Shasta Pop because I was like, do they even have Shasta? We don't have it down here in Tejas, in
Yeah.
the world of Texas. But for sure, Shasta was one of them. But then I started thinking about, like some of the candies that existed back then. Um, and grandma and
Mm.
grandpa, our grandparents had a cafe for a long time.
Yeah, they did.
And one of the
Yeah.
big things is we would go there. Usually I would go like Sunday after church, we would go.
Yep. Yep.
Or mom would go in and help at the cafe or
Yep.
whatever. But
Dad did too. Yeah.
yeah. So we always got to go to the giant candy display and pick out one candy if we were good.
We were
And we
good.
got one dime to go play pinball if we were tall enough to reach the pinball machine,
Yes.
but not till you could reach.
The pinball was a big deal, like for you and my brother Joel, because you were older and
Yes.
you could reach. For me, the jukebox was where it was
Oh,
at.
yeah. That
Oh, that
wasn't
was my
there though
favorite.
till for a long time. That
It
was
was
newer.
later. Yeah.
Um, but thinking about some of those candies and stuff that exist, like recently I became outraged because my favorite candy as an adult was the peanut butter Twix. And Twix has quit making them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Oh,
Why? You're telling me it's better than the cookies and cream one? No, bring back my Twix.
100% better.
But there
Yeah.
were different things that we had that, either they don't exist anymore for probably good reasons. Who knows what the FDA found?
Good point. Good point.
Hmm. Or they become smaller,
Lot smaller.
a lot smaller. So I'm paying way more as a
You
Gen
know,
X, and it's smaller. Even Girl Scout cookies are way
oh,
smaller than they
I'm
used to be.
sure. And more
Yeah,
expensive. I
yeah,
know. And I used to sell those suckers. So I'm an artist at these. I know what's
yes.
in them. I remember what they were
So,
called. Yeah, when people say, "Okay, what is this cookie?" and I'm like, "Oh, it used to be called that." Therefore, and they go, "Oh, yeah," and they know what it was. So, yeah.
and they
And
were bigger,
I'm all for yes, and I am all for names being made much more correct than they
of
were in the
course,
past,
of
for sure.
course.
Yeah.
But
Um,
why are they smaller? They don't need to be smaller. I'm
I
okay. I'm
know.
okay with the name change. The recipe stays the same, but why? Why is it smaller?
Give us
Okay,
our cookies.
so I was just thinking about our childhood and some of the things that we constantly like we enjoy that are gone or we thought we had to have
Oh,
and are
you're
now
speaking my
forgotten.
language. Yeah, those of you Gen Xers who grew up with very little money,
Hmm.
you had a whole list of things that you wish or you thought you should have.
Of course. And you felt guilty for even wanting them sometimes.
Yes. And then if you got them, the guilt was so
Yes.
strong that you wore them until they died or until you grew out of them. There was no going back.
Whatever
You
that was.
committed. Yes. Knickers. Do you remember knickers
Oh
of the
yeah, it was
early
fourth
80s?
grade.
Yes,
Fourth grade. My
everywhere the
first
knee
corduroy
socks.
knickers. They were purple.
Yes. Right, they were. I remember that.
They were
I
corduroy.
couldn't get them. My mom kept saying, Becky, I just don't think they'll be very flattering on you.
Maybe
I'm
because I was
like,
tall. I don't know.
well, and she may have been right because I was the squat little knobby kneed kid. But at the same time, that shouldn't be a thing. And second of all, third of all, I
Yeah.
don't even know what I'm on. It might have been just another, reason that, okay, Becky, it's not in the budget. That might have been part of what it was. I don't know. But I just remember seeing everybody on the playground in their beautiful little knickers and their little pull-up socks and then those cute little leather, like kind of ballet flat shoes that,
Yep.
oh, yeah,
I
that was
only
the
had
one
one
thing.
pair, and they were,
Yeah.
precious till I grew them like 4 months later because,
Yes, you grew
Uh,
fast all
I
the
think
time.
my big one was the clog.
Yes.
And as a teacher, I now have so much sympathy for all of the Underland teachers because all of us wore clogs from like third through, I don't know, to high school for about a year. Those things were loud, they were
Yeah.
clackety, they were
Yeah.
not safe.
No. They weren't like today,
No.
if you buy a clog, they'll give you the little back strap for the heel.
Yes.
None of that
No,
existed.
no, 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 no. But
No.
getting my first pair, I wore those until they wore out because
As you had to.
because
Yeah.
I knew how special they were, and so I was going to wear them every day because we spent money on these. It's also when my mom discovered that summer I kept complaining about how my feet hurt all the time, and I lived on the farm, like I said before, I was the farm mouse, but I ran around on the farm barefoot all the time. I had little flip flops. I
Yeah.
didn't like wearing shoes a lot during that time. And then finally, I remember my mom said, okay, you can get a pair of clogs. There was some shoe store in Lisbon that had a bigger
Yep.
variety.
Yeah.
And we went there and I was picking out my clogs and they brought out, she said, she's a size 11 girl. So they come out, I couldn't even get half my foot in it. And they're like, she is not that size. On that day, my mother discovered I was already a size 7 in women's shoe
In
because
women's shoes.
because my foot had grown so much from the
I
spring.
believe it.
And this is why
I
all of my
believe it.
shoes were wearing out, why it hurt. I
You
discovery.
know, I do think we should have a moment though for your feet because the
My
entire
skis, as
time.
my dad calls them, the skis.
Because what size, I'm going to call you out, I'm sorry. What size do you wear as an adult woman right now?
My feet have grown again as an
Oh,
adult
yeah,
woman.
I've
I'm
heard
now an
this.
11.
Yeah, I get that. I used to be an 8.5. I'm a solid 9 now.
Yeah.
Solid. Like there's
I
no
would
going 8.5.
say since the joys of menopause, whole other episode, my shoe size
Yes.
grew like another half a
Yeah.
size and a half. But I've always been more of a narrow foot, high
Yeah.
instep, 11.
Yeah.
Um,
Always.
yeah, so those clogs were everything. I wore those out. You couldn't pay me to wear a pair of clogs. Now I'm in heels all the time for work.
I
And
have
the
a pair.
idea of being in those clogs and walking those hallways and trying to go up, my school has medieval steps because it's a
Yeah.
historical landmark. No, no way would you catch me.
Girl,
Unless
I
maybe
have a pair. They
you
are
own a pair of
awesome. Yes.
clogs.
Do you want me to go get them? They're in my closet
No, I
behind me.
don't.
I, it's so great.
Yes, please go rummage
Oh
in your closet.
my gosh, they are awesome. However, they do have support in them, unlike the ones that we had in the
So
80s,
they're
but
orthopedic
they
clogs.
are orthopedic clogs. They're
It's
supportive
not the
clogs.
same as the 1970s.
Hey, they look like clogs. They are clogs. Don't be bossing me about my clogs. Jeez.
Are they
Clogs
a
are
true
perfect for you.
wooden shoe though, like they used to
Oh
be?
no, no,
Well,
because
that's
I
what
think
I'm
those have been
saying.
outlawed. Oh my God, I think Dr.
That's
Scholl's
my
probably got
point.
sued
You
at
could
some
never
point.
find those again, and I would never want to wear them again. But when I
Oh,
was in 4th grade,
so
they were
awful.
it. They were
They
it.
they were not only in fashion, but your poor foot could grow backwards and hang off the end a little bit and not be
Yeah.
constrained. This is why they were the
Yes.
best foot for you or best
I
shoe for
wore
you.
them until they wore out and I couldn't, like the leather was
Oh,
starting to wear,
yeah.
you know?
Well, and people listening, you need to understand, poor Rochelle has been fighting with shoes her entire life, even as adults at family reunions. I can recall one
Which
where
one?
we're
What?
the
Okay,
one where
what?
we were in DL and
Oh no.
after an entire day of familial bonding, we decided we were going to walk for breakfast.
2 miles to Perkins.
Well, we thought Embers next door was open,
Oh,
and
that's
and then
true.
as we got closer, they weren't. And we have this whole pod of us walking down this little
We
access
weren't
road,
alone.
and
It was
we were
safe.
there were many of us. But the whole way you're like, ah, my feet, my feet. And I was like, you're fine, suck it up. And
Because
then
I
at
was
one,
wearing heels. I was
I
wearing
know.
heels and I've been dancing in them and walking around all
Oh,
day in them.
it had been
Yeah.
an entire day and evening. And yes, I looked down and I realized your poor feet were in pain. And then you took them off and you were just walking along the street and carrying them. And you were like, is there a dumpster? Can I just throw these in the dumpster?
But you know what? I love those shoes. I miss those heels.
They were
Not
great.
unlike the clogs. May they rest in peace. They were awesome.
Yes.
They were comfortable till they
Ah,
weren't.
this
But
leads
there
me
was
to
the
it.
clog. And I
Yeah.
think of going back to what we don't have anymore, at the very core of everything, if you're a Gen Xer, because we're moving closer to the holidays. And I am one of those people that's like, please, especially in my older age, just give me one holiday at a time. I cannot. I enjoy Christmas. I like the Christmas decorations, but I cannot have them too early. I have to get through my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving. So
Yeah.
I want to
It's
enjoy
so
that first.
good.
My next
It's
door
so
neighbor
good.
right now has that blow up where it has Santa laying on the ground and a turkey on top with the sign that says "Wait your turn." I love it.
I need that in my
It's
life.
the best.
I am affirmed it does not start until Thanksgiving evening. Then you can turn on the lights and then you can start listening to music if you want.
Exactly.
But
But it's
Santa has to show up at the end of the Macy's Day Thanksgiving parade, and then we
then it's
can start.
Christmas. That's
Yes.
right. Then it's
Oh,
Christmas.
I have friends who've been
But
playing that stuff all month already. Yeah.
the other part that announced it was Christmas that was crucial as a Gen X child, it doesn't exist anymore, is the
Oh.
arrival of the Sears and Roebuck toy catalog.
Oh. Yes, and its
Because it was
partner,
just for
the
the
J.C.
kids.
Penney Christmas catalog,
Yes.
which
And you would
had
go through
had a
it
lot more clothes.
pages, pages. It was just for the kids. And
Yes.
my brother and I, well, Michael was still little, but Paul and I, we would say that we would sit and go through page by page. And I would tell him, okay, tell me what you like. And we would circle
Yes.
and you would use it to
Yes.
narrow down your Christmas list for Santa.
For sure.
But they
Oh
don't have
God,
that
that was the thing.
anymore.
It was so great though. Okay, some friends of mine just did a photo shoot
Yeah.
in memory of the J.C. Penney
They
catalog.
did like the old JCPenney poses and everything.
Yes, the poses. Uh,
Yeah.
Yes, everybody had their little perfect curls. I
Yes.
oh, Rochelle, so my speaker, my our grandparents on my mom's side, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they had as many grandkids as we did on our side of the family, Bartholomew's side. We had
Yeah.
so many grandkids on each. You know, they were Depression era grandparents, and then they had multiple children, and they had multiple children. So we had huge extended families, and we would all get together at Christmas time. That was pretty special when I think about it, that we all got to see each other on both sides of the family.
Mm-hmm.
But our speaker, my our grandparents would literally put whenever we would visit sometime, oh, anywhere between Thanksgiving and Christmas, which was often. We were often out at the farm. They would just
Yes.
set those two catalogs in front of us, and it was like the heavens opened up. And
Please
grandma
read.
would, yes, and grandma would say, well, now mark the ones that you like. And I remember writing Becky next to and
Mm-hmm.
circling. Yeah. And then later, as I got older, it got more strategic. I would have my own notepad and paper and say, page 32 here.
Yes.
The
That's where we first learned as
cream
English
leggings.
teachers to annotate.
Yes.
Was the
Thank
Christmas
you,
toy
Sears
catalogs
catalog.
of the 70s and 80s.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And we had grandparents who, um, well, I had a set of grandparents on one side who had a little bit more money. And
Hmm.
then we had our collective grandmother who, after our grandpa died, was, she definitely had to save every penny. Yet
Yes.
we got something from our list every year. I did
Or
anyway.
something. There was
Yes,
always something. And
something.
grandma, even when I was in college,
Yeah.
um, my mom used to say she always felt like she had to send the grandchildren something. And it
Yes.
became a tradition where she would send us the Christmas ornaments
Yes.
for several years. She would go
Yes.
to West Acres and Fargo, and they had like all the Christmas stuff out in the Christmas stores, and she would find them and she would get like the year etched on them for
Yeah,
each
in
of
our
us
names.
in our
Yeah.
names. And
I still have mine.
I have almost all of mine, I think, still
Yeah.
packed away.
Mine go up. I don't do the Christmas tree that, well, I've done it in my life where I have the theme tree where everything looks so
Yeah,
beautifully put together. But now, like even as my kids have grown and as I have aged, I just take out all of
everything.
those mismatched ornaments and I put them on the tree and I have
Hmm.
colored lights. And sometimes I wish I had a little bit more sophisticated looking tree. And then most of the time, I just love looking at all the memories that come, you know,
Would your
the ones from grandma.
sophisticated tree have a British accent?
It might.
Just when you say
Oh,
sophisticated. Oh,
Becky.
holy night.
Oh, Becky, I do believe you have put a burnt orange ornament
Oh no, this just
among
won't
with the
do.
love of
Tinsel
mine.
is tacky.
It's so tacky.
And I only say this because deep in my heart, I wish I lived in England.
I know,
I
right?
truly do.
You and me
I'm
both.
fascinated by a British accent. I love doing them. I love hearing them. I love saying them.
Two English
Um,
teachers in the family. Well, three
oh yeah.
counting my dad, and none of us
Yes.
live in England yet. What the heck are we doing, right?
Yes.
Speaking of
So
accents,
yes.
let us talk about the fact that you and my dear cousin have that gift, that ability not to take on the accent of where you live. I completely sound Minnesotan and upper Midwestern Scandinavian. I know this about myself.
Scandinavian.
Scandinavian.
Is
Ah,
that a
I
word?
got the
Okay.
Scandinavian. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Build
Oh
it up
yeah,
there.
geez, don't you
You
know?
like
Yeah.
you like to talk about your Scandinavian roots.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yes. But you've been living
Uh-huh.
down in Texas for
Mm-hmm.
how long? Or
It's
I should
way
say
too long.
you've been living
Many
down in
years.
the southern part of the United States for how long? Decades.
Yeah.
There's nothing about you that sounds southern.
It
If I lived
depends.
there, I'd be saying y'all and I say y'all already.
But I live in an area, I live in the southest part of Texas. Like a lot of people out there, you all think that see, I said y'all. I picked that up.
You said you all. You said you
Y'all,
all.
you
There,
all,
that's y'all.
y'all.
Okay,
I
go
can't
on.
y'all. I'm a you all. Um, a lot of people think San Antonio is the farthest south. And there's not. There's a whole other chunk of Texas that people are unaware of, most people, unless you are what we call a winter Texan and you travel from where Becky is and you live down here in the winter because it is so
Snowbirds, we call them.
you're
Yes.
yes. We don't call them snowbirds anymore.
What? Wait,
No.
I'm behind the times. What do we call them?
We're the winter Texans now. If snowbirds are more people
Oh,
who go everywhere else, but Gen X is we're more we're more winter Texans. Snowbirds were the boomers who came here, I think. That's a different
oh,
term.
which
We
just gave
the
me.
Gen Xers retiring or behaving differently too. That might be part of.
Okay, let's have a moment for that.
I
Okay?
don't want to talk about that yet because I'm too far away. You're going to make me sad.
No, no, no,
I'm going to
no.
go back to my
I wasn't
point
going to talk about that. Okay, go to your point.
about my accent.
Go to your point about your.
My
Oh,
lack
that's
thereof
right.
accent. Where I live primarily like 15 miles from the border
Yep.
and about an hour and a half west of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yep.
So we don't have a traditional Texas accent really here. We have the Spanish culture influence. You'll hear more of that here. It is very
Mm-hmm.
unique. It is
Mm-hmm.
very culturally based. We have our own like community. More, it feels more small than you would
And
expect
I
in
would
most
agree with
places of
that.
Texas. Yes,
Yeah, every time
and
I visit you, I agree with that. It is
yeah,
it's this wonderful blend of cultures. I kind of love going down to the valley.
there's so
Yeah.
many different things to do and different ways to do things here.
Mhm.
But the heat will get you. But looking back at my accent growing up, I grew up in North Dakota. I had the accent and then I moved to Kansas where kids quickly questioned why I sounded the way I did. My friend Wendy to
Oh.
this day, who is one of the first people I met when we moved to Kansas and I started ninth grade, started high school there. They were fascinated by my accent and she asked about North Dakota and she asked me one day, I believe, if we had television. And being the bitter 14-year-old who just got yanked from her home where all of her cousins and family and friends she'd known forever in this new school, and being
Plus,
a true
coming from
Gen
a
X
family full of sarcasm, we did not talk
sarcasm
about
and a true Gen
feelings.
Xer who has the gift of sarcasm, it went like this. Do you have television there? I don't know. What does it taste like? And she loves to bring that up at every class reunion or every time she talks about us meeting for the, getting to know each other a little bit better. But I quickly learned, like, when we would do the Pledge of Allegiance, even to this day, I'm in charge some days of doing the school announcements, which, DJ Downey's on there.
Flashback.
I don't
Yeah.
say the word that is spelled FLAG like a Southerner. I say it like a Northerner. And
Flag.
the kids will be like, what did she say? But I learned, I think, in high school to adapt.
Yeah.
And I was surrounded by the Kansas accent, and the Missouri twang was nearby, which,
Mm-hmm.
as a Kansas Jayhawk, no one wants that.
No. And I
Sorry.
remember visiting you and hearing it. I remember coming down to
Yeah,
see
you
you,
could have
and
the
it
twang.
was thick. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And the
Um,
more I moved south, the more I used to say, only Gen Xers will probably remember who Tom Brokaw was. I became
oh,
Tom Brokaw because he was from South Dakota and he did not
yes.
have his accent. And that's
He
kind
had
of what
the
happened.
flat.
It fell to the
Yes,
side.
absolutely.
But if you ask
Yeah,
my husband, I fall into it every once in a while and he'll look at me like, what'd you say?
yeah.
When I'm around you guys up north, it'll take me like 20 minutes, an hour, and I'll start slipping right back into
Oh,
it.
I still tell people about, I don't know, 20 years ago when I would call you and you would put me on speakerphone so everybody could. It's probably 30 years ago. And the movie Fargo came out and everybody was talking like
Yeah.
that. And you're like, oh, I have a cousin who really does that. Yep. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
I
I can do it if I try to do it, but
I had a
it's gone.
oh, I can help you with
If
that.
we end up moving back there someday in our retirement, which I'm not going to talk about because that's too far away and it'll make me depressed.
If the perimenopause brain exits and I get my memory back, I'll
Perimenopause
tell you why
brain.
I brought up my roommate and living situation. I
Okay.
think I was going somewhere with the like we are now at the part in our lives where we are choosing how to live. Oh, yeah, people, I don't know how I was going to get there, but there was a segue, I promise, in my brain once. I was just thinking about how I rent from him in this big, beautiful house that we're in.
Yeah.
And um, two doors down are two people a little older than me who are doing the exact same thing. He owns the house, she rents from him. They've been friends forever. And I just read an article on this in the AARP magazine that came.
Wait.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Well,
going to
my roommate's
no,
older.
I'm going to need a minute. Did you just say the AARP?
AARP magazine. And it
Okay.
is still paper form and it
You are
comes. Yes.
younger than I am
Uh-huh.
and I
Uh-huh.
have rebelled. I refuse to go down the land of the AARP.
Don't do it, girl. Get the discounts. Do whatever you need to do. Come on. Well, okay. Be advised, my roommate is, like I said, I've known him for like 35 years. He's older than I am. He's like, he won't mind me saying it all. He's going to be 70 in a month.
Mhm.
And so AARP is totally great for him. He's a boomer. He doesn't seem like a boomer because he's very fit and very active still, and he never quite he grew up some of the same ways our parents did, but a little different.
Mhm.
He kind of bridges. But yeah, no,
But
he's very
he's
much
not
a boomer.
forcing you to read the AARP.
Oh no, but while I'm working in the kitchen and he happens to be sitting there, we share the articles and we chat about them. And I will be
I can't.
why wouldn't we talk about this? Other people are doing what we have been doing. Why have two mortgages
Yeah.
when you've got a perfectly big house? And I basically pay one half of the mortgage each month and he pays the other half. and we've got it figured out. You know, he owns the house, but if something happens to him, I get to
Buy
either
it.
buy the house
Mhm.
or leave, and I'm not getting kicked out within a certain amount of days. I mean, like, it is a very it the more we talk about it to people, the more we hear people doing this. It's become a thing where the boomers are starting to realize this whole like aging and if a spouse dies or something,
Yeah.
living alone isn't always the healthiest thing. And I, as a Gen Xer, just kind of stumbled into this situation where I was going back to grad school after working full time all this time, and he was like, "I have a huge house, and I love your dogs, and just come rent from me." And I was like, "Heck yeah!" Plus, he
Mhm.
gave me I get the master bedroom. This is great. I mean, basically, all I got to do is put a microwave and a mini fridge in
And
here, and
you're
I
right
never have
back
to
living
leave.
in a college dorm. Yes.
You know,
Which
I
really
don't need
is
much.
the goal of some Gen Xers. I want to go back to that time.
I don't need much. I'm happy. It's good. It's really good. And
Okay.
at the same time, I'm single. He's single. We're both very happily single. And at the same time, we each have an emergency contact. This is awesome. I love it. I don't have to put my 75-year-old mom as my emergency contact, who, God forbid, if something happened to me, she wouldn't want to get that phone call, you know?
Well, and she wouldn't drive all the way there either in the
No,
dark at night.
no,
It's too much.
no.
No,
She'd
no.
just say, "Oh my God, can you just pull the plug?" No, she
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Let me put the phone by your ear and I'll say goodbye.
No, she wouldn't. She would.
I love you, Aunt Mary.
I love you too, Mom. I'm kidding.
It's just jokes. Okay, back to things we no longer have.
Yes.
What is the one toy you had in childhood that you miss, but no, you could not buy today?
Oh, boy, that's hard because so many of the 80s toys have become retro and they've come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm thinking of Simon Says. That one I've seen on the
Oh, don't
Target
get me
shelf.
started on Simon Says.
Oh, is it bad? Good? I don't know. I
I
don't know
want
where we're going with
answers.
this.
I want answers.
Yeah. What's the algorithm of Simon Says?
No.
No?
You know how many years I asked for a Simon Says?
I'm sorry.
And to this day, I never
I don't
got
know.
one.
No, I
I
didn't
never
either.
got
My
one.
friends had
And
one.
my mother won't tell me why. I don't know
Mm.
why. I think it was probably all the beeping, but that'll take us back to
Oh,
another good story involving your dad. But whatever
nice.
reason, for years I asked for Simon Says. I never got a Simon Says. And now when I will bring it up as an adult and be like, why didn't I ever get a Simon Says? Like it wasn't outrageously expensive, right? She'll change the subject on me.
Mm.
So to get revenge, which I have been known to do, when my niece and nephew, who are now one is in college and one is in high school, when they were little, I believe it was those two, I bought them Simon Says. So they opened it at grandma's house.
Beep, beep, boop, beep,
Boop,
boop,
beep,
boop.
boop, 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 beep, boop, 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 boop. Because I love puzzles. I don't know what the thing it was about Simon Says, but yes, but Simon Says was absolutely up there. But you can still buy
Yeah,
them because I
you
have.
can. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I didn't get one. My friends always had one. And so I used to play
Hmm.
theirs all the time.
Yeah,
And
same.
to be fair, it got annoying. Yeah, not
Yeah,
gonna
it was
lie.
probably an annoying toy. And on that note, in our family, because there were so many grandchildren at Christmas time, we used to draw names. The
Yes.
adults would draw names, the kids would draw names, and then it would, everybody could save money because you would just buy so many gifts instead of
One.
gifts for
Yes.
everybody,
Yep, you
which
had
makes
one
sense.
cousin. One
Yes,
cousin
you
you got
got
a
the
gift
one
for.
cousin each.
And then
It
grandma, you got a
became a
gift for.
competition between your dad and my dad. If we drew each other's names, the kids got the same because we had other cousins besides us. But if we got one of your names, especially if it was the younger brothers, it
Yes.
was during the time of Paul and
Yes,
Eric, especially at that time.
for sure.
If we got Eric's name, if you guys got Paul's name, it was a competition between our dads to buy the loudest, most annoying possible gift they could find to
Keep
upset
in
the other one.
mind, our dads weren't the ones who had to put up with the noise because
No.
literally our moms were stay-at-home moms and they would have
Yes.
to hear this over and over again. And then the dads would get home at night and they'd be tired and cranky. And if they heard that noise, they'd be like, knock it off. And we'd be
Put it
done.
away. I'm
Put
going
it
to
away.
take the batteries out. Put it away.
There was no, oh, God bless you. We didn't get that. We got knock it off and we were done. We were
Yes.
going to get in trouble.
But it
Oh,
was like,
gosh.
oh,
No.
what do you, I still remember like one of, I think it was Eric opening a gift, my dad. I think the last was my dad got Eric. We bought him, it was a miniature toy preschool chainsaw.
I remember this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
when
I
he opened
remember,
it, your
go ahead.
dad looking, sitting on the couch going, what do you got there, Eric? Thanks, Lair.
No, that's not how I remember it. I
Okay.
remember, I remember the turn because our dads always sat on the couch. If
Yeah.
they, we would have the massive meal that grandma would make, so good. And her house was tiny. We just piled in there. So people were eating everywhere. There were TV trays out, there was a table, there was the floor. We ate. There were card tables everywhere. I mean, we just ate wherever we landed. And our dads always ended up on the sofa together because either one fell asleep there watching the game and then had to wake up and make room for everybody during gift time, or they would
Yeah.
morph from visiting and to gift time. But I remember my dad saying, "What do you got there, Eric?" And Eric going, "Brr, brr," pushing the buttons and making it run, 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 run. And I remember my dad turning with that smirk on his face, which people tell me I have, and saying, "You son of a bitch,"
Yeah, that
to your
sounds more
dad
accurate. And then my dad,
under his breath. Yes, yeah, not loudly, not for everybody to hear, but I happened to be watching and paying
well, yeah,
attention,
your
and
dad would never say it loud enough for grandma would hear it. She'd
mm-mm.
take the wet dish rag and smack him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dish,
Uh,
and grandma, God bless her, that dish rag was for everything. It was for drying dishes, it was for getting somebody's attention, and it was used as a hot pad to pull things out of the oven.
oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. I
That's
remember
all the
one
years at the
setting on
cafe.
fire at one point. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless her.
Yes. But the Christmas toys, so mine, I think is, I'm not even sure if I remember the name of it right. Uh, it was preschool and it was the treetop house
Mm,
with the little treetop people and it had a
I
little
had that
tree
too.
bush with the dog lived in the little tree bush down in an elevator.
Was it was it the Weebelows? I know
No,
we have
they
the
weren't
Weebelo barn.
Weebelos. They were
Nope, it was
preschool. You guys
something
had
else.
tons of Weebelos at your house.
We did.
Uh,
But I had the treehouse too. It
it
was
was the
so
tree topper, and
cool.
you could close it
Yes.
and carry it.
Yes. Oh, what was that? Somebody find it and show it to
I
us.
think it was
God,
called the tree
was it the
treetop, the treetop house.
the treetop house? Tree?
Yeah, something like that. Because it was they lived up in the treetop, and it
Yes.
had an elevator in the trunk. It was my
Oh, it
favorite toy. It was my
was.
favorite toy, and my grandparents gave it to me, and I'd asked Santa for it, and I was after I opened it, I was so worried because what if Santa brings me one and a little girl doesn't get it because I'll have
Yeah.
two. So it was very, and my mom was like, Santa won't, don't worry. Because in her mind, she's like, we're not paying
Mm.
for the treetop people. Grandma and grandpa took care of that one.
Grandma and
I had
grandpa got a
that
hold of
one.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always wanted a real Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah, I think all of us did. I did too. And there was no way. Well, first of all, there was no way our parents were going to spend that kind of money on a toy.
Or go
Second of
face the
all,
craziness.
hell no. They were not going to ever go in early to shop, let alone stand in line to shop, let alone fight off people to shop. They were like, nope,
Literally
our
jump
kids don't
people
need
to
it.
get the Cabbage
Yeah, oh,
Patch doll.
heck no.
I had a homemade
No
one.
way.
I had the
Yeah.
homemade Cabbage Patch doll.
We all did, and they had those weird faces with like the things coming out of their noses, like because it couldn't be the
Yeah.
same.
Their
Yeah, it was
legs and arms were a little too long.
a little different. Yeah, I
It was
know. Those of
cute,
us,
but it's not the
well,
same. Yeah.
we grew up where people could sew. And they did.
Mhm.
They made every craft fair had all those fake Cabbage Patch dolls, and
Oh, yeah, all the
that one,
bazaars.
all the bazaars. You're
The
right.
bazaars.
I
I
know.
didn't
Well,
inherit my mom is an excellent sewer, quilter.
yeah, yeah.
I did not
She,
inherit that gene at all.
she
I
helped
have
me
no
with the 4-H
patience.
project. No,
Yeah, and it was some of our biggest fights when as I remember as a little girl, is I had no patience for it. If it wasn't perfect, I'd get upset, and I
yeah.
couldn't do it perfectly because I was learning, and I just didn't wanna do that. I wanted to go outside. I wanted to cook. I wanted to bake. I did not wanna sew, and my
Ditto.
mom loves it, and I think it upset her. Like, "Why does my daughter not have this gene?"
To this day, I do wish I knew more about sewing because there
Well,
are
sure.
times that I have something that I wish I could just
I
whip
could put
out.
on a mean button. I can stitch up a little, thing about
on,
little
on
tiny
the seam, yeah, on
on
the
the
seam,
seam. I can rock
right?
that stuff, but anything beyond that, no, it's gotta go. I'm donating it or it's just dead to me. It's not happening. Sorry. I'm not that person.
I had a bridesmaid dress once where the straps were a little too long, and this was a form-fitting black sequin dress. This was
Mhm.
all the way, all the way down to the floor. This was one heck of a gown. And I bought it, and the bride had given us basically carte blanche as long as it's black and to the floor. Doesn't matter. And I tried on 30 dresses at various this is when I still had to go to every bridal store possible and every other
Mhm.
formal store. There was no shopping online. And I got this dress, and the straps needed to be shortened. This was a
Safety
major
pins.
this was a ma oh, see, no. I I'm like you, it has to be just right, and I couldn't sew, but there I am on my sofa with my little needle and thread going, "This'll work somehow, it'll be fine," and I kept telling myself that, and it must have been fine because nobody throughout the entire evening and the huge long wedding dance that came afterwards, nobody said, "Becky, your straps look terrible."
Or they were just too nice not to.
Or other things, which is another episode.
My
Family
goodness.
wedding dances.
Oh, yes. And
Bartholomew wedding dances.
Bartholomew wedding is oh my
Mm,
goodness. So I
right.
don't know. I just think a lot of things have disappeared. Some of our snacks, some of our toys.
Yeah.
Some are
Our
probably for the best. Jart, really, it's best it's gone.
horseshoes in which
Oh, yeah,
you got,
now it's cornhole.
yeah, but that's
Just
a little
throw this giant
safer.
chunk of metal at people after they've been drinking, those adults.
As a kid, I got beamed with a horseshoe more than once.
Why were you in the line of the horseshoe?
Ah, okay, good question. I was little. I don't know. One time I got caught on the backswing, donk, and the other time I got caught on the toss because I was running down to the other end and they
Because
didn't
you were
wait.
where you were supposed to be. That is why.
Somebody obviously told me to run to the other end, therefore I
Sure.
did. That's another
And
episode.
and you said bass. Right.
Bass. I caught a big bass. I
No.
swear to this day, I swear I was
You can keep
innocent.
swearing all you want. The rest of us who are older heard it. It's fine. You and your
And obviously has
revisionist history.
well, obviously it has given the boomers in our family a good time to talk about for the
It
rest of their
has
lives because
in
it
our
still comes
shenanigans.
up. Yes. God bless them. I love our parents. I love our boomer heritage. And I love our Gen X take. I think it'll be fun to see what our kids say about us.
Uh, I don't, even if we don't like what they say and it's not fun as Gen X, I don't care.
I don't either. Like,
Say
dude,
what you want. I
like we
lived
said,
it. I
we
don't
drank
care.
out of the water hose. We don't care. We didn't
I don't
die.
care.
We're fine.
The older they get, I don't care. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't hurt my feelings. The boomers took
Oh,
care of it.
and I think that's the thing about Gen X is that we don't care. Like
We don't.
literally, okay, our parents grew up, they had their houses, they had their families, they got together, we did all these things a certain way. And then they went, they died at home or they died in a nursing home as they used to call them or something like that. We Gen Xers are like, "Psh, we don't give a crap about the way it's always been done.
No,
It'll work. Whatever it
no.
is."
At
Yeah.
some point, we discovered it took a long time, but at some point, we discovered, hey, wait a minute, we can make our own choices. And just because this is how we grew up with it, do I really like that? Even with like little things. Like when I finally, like was out on my own having my first teaching job and you're in the store and you have a tendency, like when you're in college and stuff, you just buy the stuff your mom always bought.
Yep.
And it occurred to me one day that I don't want to use, I forget what the soap was. I don't know
Palmolive.
that I like the way it smells. I'm going to try this soap
There was a point that I realized that nobody has dishpan hands in this generation.
because we love the dishwasher.
We do not
And
need
when I
Palmolive.
meet people, they're like, "Oh,
Man,
I have a dishwasher. I just don't use it." Why? What? How much time have you used or wasted in your life washing dishes?
exactly. Like, okay, if this is a meditative thing for you, great. But if it is just oh, I have to do these dishes, or no, use the
If you
dishwasher.
if you are privileged enough in this world to have a dishwasher, because not
Yes.
everybody is, if you are
No,
privileged enough to have one and you're not using it, I don't understand it. It saves so much time.
my
As the
brother.
child had to wash every dish practically as I started
Yes,
to get
right?
older,
Man, the
I
Brillo
no.
pads were going. "Ugh."
Mhm.
My brother recently bought a home that was owned by this sweet older couple who literally had both died there over the years.
Okay.
They built it in the 50s or 60s, one of those. I don't remember exactly which decade. And I am telling you, not much changed in between the time they built it and decorated it and the time my brother bought it. It was pretty much a retro house that he could have just, probably listed as an Airbnb for people who like that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
so he has no dishwasher. And my first question as he's moving in, and, we were helping clean out things, and I just said, uh, dear brother, any chance you could just take out this set of drawers and put in a dishwasher? And he says, yes, yes, I could. But that is not the first order on my list. And so not yet. And I just said, okay, I will give your two little girls stools for Christmas so they can stand there and help you with the dishes. Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to
My
do it
first
old
house had
school.
no
We're going to
dishwasher.
wash them by hand.
And
Yeah,
he's
I just
doing
don't have
it.
the patience for that.
Oh, and he's doing it. And he's doing all right. And, and it was he and his wife got divorced and he wanted to live where his girls were going to be, and therefore this was the house that came available in our current market, that he could
Yeah.
afford. So it works out and it is what it is. But more than once I've thought, should I just get him a little dishwasher, like even a portable one that you could just hook up to the
Oh,
sink?
that's what we had when I was
Yeah.
growing up. Yeah, the
Yeah.
dishwasher lived on the other side of the kitchen.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then when you wanted to use it, you'd wheel it over and you'd plug it in. But it was only for special occasions like
Right.
holidays or when a lot of people were going to be there because it was a pain to hook it up and then it was blocking the path of the kitchen until you were done. When we lived when dad and built we had different homes as I was growing up, but one of them my father built. Um, he took that one and there was a spot where it was there,
Yep.
but you still had to pull it out to use it
Yep.
because it was not a built-in.
Nope. I remember that.
Yeah, when I first bought my own house, that was like at the top of the list. Don't even show me a house without a dishwasher. I'd
Brilliant.
rather live in an apartment that has one.
Bloody
Please don't do that
brilliant.
to me.
My
Yeah.
first house did not have, and that's when I had our daughter, and she was a toddler. And luckily, I was smart enough to put all of the like dish towels and pot holders and things in the bottom drawer next to the sink. Because while I was standing there doing dishes over and over again, my toddler figured out how to open that drawer. And she was an early toddler. Ellie was like saying her first words before she was a year old. She was toddling
Mhm.
before she was a year old. She was a busy kid. And I remember just sitting there and shaking my head, and she just systematically would empty that bottom drawer just every day while I was doing the dishes. And I remember thinking to myself, if I had a dishwasher, I could be doing something with my daughter rather than watching her systematically empty this because her mom's not available.
And then you gotta fold up all the dish towels, so that's another
Oh,
10 minutes.
oh, and at that time I was all about it has to be folded just the right way, blah, blah, blah. Now I'd be like, oh my God, shove them back in there. They're fine. I wouldn't worry about it at all. No, now I would be like our parents as grandparents saying, oh, whatever. Whereas when we were growing up, we'd be grounded if we didn't do it the right way. But now when they have grandkids, they're like, ah, don't worry about it. That,
It's
yeah,
cute now.
it's adorable. Speaking of which, I suppose we should wrap this up, but let's just say, okay, so my dad, Bart, who we started the
Yes.
episode with,
And once again, we've gone all over the place, but yes.
well, we're going to try and come full circle. I'm going to try, but,
Okay.
God, this is the glory of cousin time. We get to just go all over. Um, my dad was, as we've established, he was a huge fisherman and he was a hunter also, which is uh, very regular way of life up in North Dakota where we grew up.
Mhm.
And it's a way to stock the freezer for to feed your family for the rest of the year. Um, when I was growing up, my two brothers were taught how to hunt, and I was
Mhm.
not. It was a different time, and um, my dad was very much the 1950s mentality kind of household, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. Girls had their distinctions. Um, I never had the chance to learn how to hunt and or even shoot or any of that stuff. And my daughter, who is a young adult and is out of college and is learning how to live her adult life, she and her boyfriend have been together for many years. And her boyfriend is very much a fisherman and a hunter, more than her grandpa was, even. And I just think about when my kids were really little with their cousins
Mhm.
and my dad taking them out to the deer stand or taking them goose hunting when they were just tiny. I mean, they were like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, little. And he would take them and he'd have them in his camper overnight, and they would drink Mountain Dew for breakfast and eat toaster strudel, and they would go from
Oh,
spot to
toasters.
spot in the country where there were no cars, no nothing, and he would tell them it's okay, don't wear your seatbelt, but don't tell your mom. And the first thing they would do when they came in the door was tell their mom.
Mhm.
But I think about how fast forward all these years, and my daughter just a week ago going for deer season opener with her boyfriend, and she had gotten her own deer rifle and she knows how to shoot and she knows how to do all that, and she got her first deer, and it wasn't just her first deer, it was one shot and done. it was
Mm.
it, my dad would have been pretty darn proud
Oh,
of his
yeah.
granddaughter. Yeah. And I just think about 12 years he's been gone, and 12 years that was of the pivotal growing up time of my kids who just
Mhm.
adored their grandfather. Their grandfather who would have taught them how to hunt or shoot or do any of those things. Um, it's pretty cool to think how he's been gone 12 years as of yesterday, and just a week ago, Ellie got her first deer on opener day. She was done by 9:30 in the morning. So, um, and she had her moments. She called me and she just said, "Mom, I don't know how I feel about this. I just shot something. And I just said, I don't know how to feel about it either. I mean, we wrestle with that. And then at the same time, she has this moment and she just said, I think Grandpa would have loved this. Yeah, he would have.
Yeah, he would have.
Yeah.
He would have. And really, I think your dad just enjoyed sharing whatever, like little moments, whether it was with his grandkids, with his kids, with his nieces and nephews. And I mean, he was infamous for getting me. I was a picky eater growing up.
Yes, you were.
Oh, so
Nothing too
bad.
much on your
Like
plate.
people like, I think my husband would say, "You still are," but very more so. But Uncle
Really?
Jared could get me to try anything, and sometimes we'd be at the lake. Like he got me to eat sardines out of a can, to the
Yes.
disgust of my mother, who was like, "What are you getting my daughter to eat?"
Oh my
But
gosh.
Uncle Jerry had a way of
Yes.
just getting me to try. He got me to try barbecued rabbit. And
Right.
he told me it was tastes like chicken. You like
I wouldn't
chicken,
even,
right, Reckle? Tastes just
God
like
bless
chicken. You're
you.
gonna love it.
I would not, nope, I wouldn't even touch the rabbit. We raised those things. I wasn't touching them. No way. But
He
you,
used to like prep me
oh,
all day. He would like get my interest in what was happening. He'd answer my questions all day,
yes.
like pump it up. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be great. Like I don't know how he was the only person who could get me to
That
do
was the
that.
teacher in him. He knew
Yes.
how to get you interested in something.
He
Hmm.
would talk me into that. And I'd be like, okay, try it.
Oh,
Yeah. We miss you, Uncle Jerry.
we do. Thank you, cousin, for that little trip down memory road. I appreciate it.
No problem.